We are on. What's going on YouTube? Just getting ready here, waiting for some people to join in. Got a nice special guest today. That's Mike from Reef to Rift. If you guys are watching later on, we'll introduce him again once people start coming in. Hopefully people come in soon. Hi, Animal Lover. We got a special guest, Mike from Reef to Rift. I work with him too. If you have any questions about fish, he's very knowledgeable. Food, anything, filtration. You got the title for this live stream? It's just my last live stream until I move. Do you know what mollies are, is what she asked.
Do I know what mollies are? In what sense? I mean, they're classified as a live bear, pretty much. Community fish. I mean, I don't know what you mean by what are mollies.
The Venusians are going at it. There we go. Don't forget to please leave a like in the please leave a like. Is it okay to keep them with crawfish?
No. By nature, crawfish are basically scavenging. They will actively hunt small fish, anything they can basically get a hold of and eat. So, I mean, the best thing you can kind of keep with crawfish is crawfish. Basically like an invertebrate tank, minimum 40 gallons. You can keep maybe like 5, 6 of them in there. But trying to introduce fish into that system, you're basically going to be feeding them a very expensive meal sort of thing. Like introducing large fish into the system, like say if you want to do like angelfish, silver dollars, etc., you'll pretty much run the risk of the larger fish eating the crawfish, because mostly where they'll come from, they can have a crustacean diet, especially the silver dollars or anything large like that, meat style fish.
She said thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Not a problem. I mean, it's one of those things. It's good to have people actually ask questions before saying, pardon my French, fuck it, and just doing it anyway. Which is pretty much what I deal with on a daily basis at, my job working at a local fish store. You'll get the people that come in and, primarily, like, they got a small ass tank, pretty much they're like, oh, you got a 10-gallon tank. And the first thing they run into always in the store is, I don't know if you can see them, but Africans, which is pretty much their go-to. And one of the first fish they always take out is definitely like the yellow Lepidophromys, or yellow lab cichlids. And they want to know if this pretty little yellow fish can go in with, say like mollies or tetras or anything of that sort. And, you kind of have to be gentle about it, but educate them that, the water parameters wouldn't be right because they require a lot more alkaline water, but it's also the temperament issues that you're going to get between the Cichlidae family and, your regular community style fish, whether it even be trying to mix them in with like the Pterophyllons, angels, or, basic run-of-the-mill tetras. There's like hundreds of different species, but it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass. But dealing with people who actually ask questions and want to learn is definitely a sort of refreshing thing to deal with.
The next question was, do you enjoy your job to work with fish? It's a loaded question.
That's a very loaded question. I enjoy what I do and where I do it, but I mean the job can be pretty monotonous. It's basically like owning. I mean, our store's what 7,200 square feet.
7,200, yeah.
And it's like 400 different tanks, and it's dealing with everything that comes from like either the Great Lakes of Africa, which is your African cichlids, all 3 lakes, and then you move into like freshwater fish, which is your community style fish, and then you move into your neotropical cichlids, which we do carry, such as pterophyllums, angels, and there's some Photogon species, which is discus. And then you'll move into like your larger South and Central American cichlids and fish. But then the whole other quarter side of our store is saltwater, which is a whole completely different animal. So it's a job where you got to basically know what you're doing and learn along the way. But it can be a little bit of a pain in the ass jumping from talking to somebody about, euthyllia corals, which are like hammers, frog spawns, torches, stuff like that, to going over and answering someone's questions about guppies, and dealing with the fact that on top of that, you got to get all this maintenance and upkeep done with upkeep in the store. So it can run you a little ragged on a daily basis, and then you're going home basically as a hobbyist and having to deal and maintain your own tanks. So it's kind of a loaded question where you love what you do at your store, but by the time you come home, you're losing a little bit of love for it. It's pretty much give and take along the way. Not to mention the numerous amounts of average fish keepers that come in and need you to basically hold their hand through the whole process of setting up freshwater aquariums, setting up saltwater aquariums, and then setting up reef aquariums, and then basically dealing with the reverse side of the spectrum where you got the fish keeping hobbyist, like hardcore hobbyist that comes in, and they basically try to, I don't know, how would you describe it, like
what, the hardcore ones, or
that basically like come in and try to stump you, I guess.
Yeah. The ones that know what they're doing and they're looking for, I don't even know, some like the info and stuff like that, just to try to see if they can get us stumped on something. Yeah, it's some of those people, they're hardcore and they think they know. Well, some do know what they want, and they come in and just run everything on. Real quick, Animal Lover, thanks for stopping by, and thanks for leaving a like if you did. So yeah,
just this little thingy here.
Yeah, it went a little fuzzy there for a second. There we go.
Playing around with the camera angles and no M. Night Shyamalan over here.
Yeah. So Sweetness is a melody. Asks, what can you tell me about a coral tank and startup for that? Also, what can I put in there with the coral? I'll get to your comment in a minute too, Sushi.
With reef aquariums, I mean, one thing I always tell people who wants to start up like a saltwater tank is it's almost damn near impossible to get everything in one shot. Meaning, you buy everything to start up the tank right off the bat, because saltwater, like I said, saltwater is a completely different animal. Everything is literally like 10 times the cost of your normal freshwater aquarium. I mean, if you want to like start a reef aquarium, the best thing that I tell people to do is do it in chunks. Basically, go to your local fish store wherever you are, if there is one anywhere near you, and get the largest aquarium you can afford on your budget, whatever that may be. you want to make sure that you're definitely spending the money right off the bat to get decent lighting, because that's what's going to be most key with coral. Get yourself a really decent salt. Me personally, I always recommend the Coral Pro Salt from Red Sea, mostly because everything that's built into that salt is like an all-in-one for a reef aquarium. It'll buffer your water to the more alkaline parameters that salt water needs, especially in a reef tank. But it'll also provide basically trace elements that's going to help your corals color up, grow, reproduce, etc., etc., etc. Another thing you can do is basically, I recommend not a very deep sand bed. If you're doing like a 20-gallon tank and you want to do like a nano reef, maybe like 10 pounds of live sand and maybe like 10 to 15 pounds of live rock in there, or basically you can use the artificial stuff like the Carixia Life Rock. I think they just put that out. They're doing more with it. Either option is pretty good if you want to go eco-friendly and not basically deal with blown up dead, rock from a reef. Go with like the Life Rock stuff. But it's one of those things where it's like tricky to do reef aquariums if you've never had a saltwater tank.
That's why I have all fresh water.
Yeah, that's pretty much why I haven't taken the plunge yet, because I don't have time to pretty much baby your reef tank, which is one thing you're going to have to do with consistently checking your water parameters and making sure everything's not doing this. And you pretty much want it to stay pretty stable. Another thing you can basically want to invest, or basically want to invest in, decent filtration. I tell people all the time, whether it be a fish-only tank, the salt, or a reef tank, invest in a stump. I get a lot of people that come in that have gone to other local fish stores and they told them, hey, it's okay to run a canister filter on a reef tank. And if you know anything about canister filters, they can be basically a nitrate factory, which is very detrimental to reef aquariums. Not to mention salt and salt water erode everything, so therefore you're going to have to deal with, the O-rings on the canister wearing out, the impeller getting shot, and constantly having to replace that filter system. Whereas if you're doing a sump, it's going to consistently overflow down into the sump, and it's basically easier to maintain that filter system than it would be anything else. The only other thing I would recommend is invest in a really good protein skimmer, which is going to pull excess proteins and everything out of the water, which would definitely help your corals maintain healthy and happy, basically throughout their lifespan, keep them alive. What was the other part of that question? What can you put in a reef tank?
Yeah, what can you put in a reef tank?
That's one of those questions where it's going to vary person to person. The real old school reefers, as I guess you want to call them that, they'll pretty much say, hey, it should be a coral only tank where all you have is basically your colonies of coral or frags if you want to do it, and that's it. Maybe your cleanup crew and invertebrates. But then you see all these people on, YouTube or whatever that have these awesome reef tanks that are maintaining it well with fish. I like the looks of a reef tank with movement, a reef tank with fish in it. But for me, the trick is putting or stocking fish in there that have a specific job to do. Whether it be clean up hair algae, sift the sand bed, that sort of thing. I mean, it would be one of those things where if you go to your local fish store and you say you want to start a reef aquarium, and they're one of those people that's not going to try to deter you from buying fish to stick in your reef tank, Just ask them, be blunt, ask them, hey, do you know if this fish will eat hair algae, or, whether this fish in particular, whether it be like a blenny or a goby or something of that nature, will sit in my sand bed to keep it from having basically anaerobic conditions or excess buildup of detritus or anything of that nature. Trying to think if I missed anything. The circulation. That's definitely going to be key in a reef tank. If you're dealing with euphylliid corals, which are like I said earlier, frogs, bonks, hammers, torches, long, flowy type corals that add a lot of movement, you're going to want to invest in either like a circulation pump or a really strong return pump on the sump. Both would be beneficial. Because every coral is going to have its own, like within the reef tank, every specific type of coral that you're adding there is going to have its own specific requirements for light, placement, due to where you want it in your reef tank with lighting and flow. The euphylliids are going to need a decent amount of flow with, a decent amount of light, whereas if you're dealing with certain SPS corals, which are, small polyp stones, you're going to have to figure out whether or not if it's not Acroporas, which is one of those SPS corals that needs a decent amount of light, but it also needs a really decent amount of circulation to basically open up fully. Whereas if you're dealing with, other SPS corals, which are like Bothradius, which is like an encrusting coral, you can basically place those anywhere in the tank and they're going to take off as long as your calcium levels, your magnesium levels, your carbon and alkalinity levels, everything's pretty much properly balanced in that tank. I think I got everything. Do you have any more questions, or basically a shit ton of questions?
There's more. I'm actually keeping an eye on the live chat here.
Yeah, I'm sorry that's basically a mouthful, but
they also had said, is there a specific light brand you recommend that's especially effective and provides adequate light for the symbiotic algae and photosynthesis in the coral, or synthesize in the coral and keep everything healthy?
Lighting pretty much depends on what kind of tank you're dealing with, and what kind of coral you're dealing with. Me specifically, the best bang for your buck that I think is out there on the market is the new Fluval Marine Light 3.0s, which are really pretty nice. And then you've got, your higher end lights like your Ecotech Radion lighting. I think they have a saltwater variant, the freshwater one. And then you've also got the really high end lights, which are like the Tessel AP700s. But lighting pretty much is all dependent on what size tank you're going with. Perfect example is we have a little, let me scoot this table around. A little 13.5 fluval Evo display in our store, and we're growing hammers in there. We're growing acans. We're growing acroporas, blastophilias, stuff of that nature with basically the stock light on that tank, and everything's doing really well, mostly due to how balanced we're keeping our water parameters in that tank. We're not letting it get too out of hand. But if things do get out of hand, like we got an excess buildup of hair algae, we maintain that as quick as we can with, either introducing some hermits or something of that nature. But yeah, lighting pretty much is dictated by what corals you want to do and what size tank you want, pretty much.
I'm just gonna see if everybody can actually, because I had to mute my mic because we're too close. There's an echo.
Yeah, we got that Friday the 13th effect here going.
Yeah, just making sure everybody can still hear me though, because I'm trying to pull off of that mic.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat can actually let me know. Sushi like the echo effect.
Yeah, the echo effect. We're directing a movie. It's called Echoes and Dildos.
I'm gonna move myself into the Amazonian tank. That way we'll be less. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're basically going the opposite end of the house, way down yonder.
Yeah, way down yonder. All right. Now. There
Let
we
me see
go.
if you guys can let me know how's it now. I got an air conditioner sitting here running now, but
To get
I
rid
don't
of
know
some
if
of this
that's
glare.
actually causing any feedback.
Alright.
Sorry. Yeah, there you go. Let me turn my mic back up now. So everybody can hear everybody now better? Or is it me?
It's like that what the hell is that one movie with the song? It's like Papa, can you hear me? You're literally like 30 feet away. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue.
I hope it's not now.
No.
I can hear you through the computer, but I can hear you there. So there's a little bit of a
Yeah,
that's just a delay between you and I.
it's like that Inception effect. It's like an echo within an echo within an echo.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Breaking through the fourth wall of echoes here.
Yeah. What's going on, Aquafunk? You actually joined one of my things again.
Who the hell's Aquafunk?
Aquafunk is he's from Jersey, but he's moving down to Florida.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, he's my karaoke buddy.
So you guys do karaoke?
No, we were one of our Google Plus things. We actually were talking back and forth through the Google Plus, we were singing Seal. We were texting Seal, I guess you could say.
You sure it wasn't more or less like the village people over there?
Yeah, no. But
Men with hats.
yeah, Sweetness is a Melody actually said they were looking at acroporas. Acroporas.
Okay. I mean, if you want to do like SPS corals, like acros and stuff like that, I definitely recommend a higher wattage lighting. You know, like I said, it depends on the size tank you want to do. I mean, if you want to do like an actual reef display tank, where it's like, you know, either the 125 size or whatever you want to deal with to do a reef tank, or if you want to basically use basically like a frag tank, which would be most ideal for like acros and stuff like that, so you can penetrate the water column because it's a little bit more shallow than your regular size standard glass aquarium. I mean, it also depends on how big the tank is. So if you're doing like a 60-gallon frag tank or something like that, I think Sephora makes a 60-gallon rimless and an 80-gallon rimless frag tank with overflow built into it and a really nice stand. You know, I'd recommend either like the Radion lighting or the Kessel AP700s. We're having really good success with the AP700s on our basically our coral or frag stock tanks with the Kessel lighting and dealing with like acropora frags and stuff like that we get in. But it's all going to pretty much boil down to dealing with really good light source and making sure everything's properly balanced in that tank.
Oh, hold on. Trying to go back and forth between the live feed and the video, stream, and it was, I hit the wrong button. Sushi Prince, back to the flower horn too, because I know you had made a comment about that a little bit ago. That's Bubba. That's my flower horn. Code him. I promise you, in like 4 weeks, I'm gonna get a video for you. I'm gonna have a bunch of different videos. I'm actually, like the thing says, you know, it's the Sunday Fun Day live stream. but also too is I'm moving in the next 2 weeks. So I want to get everything set up. Once I have everything set up, I'm going to do a whole new tour of the whole fish, because I'm actually going to have a fish room kind of thing. So I'll actually be able to make a nice big old sweeping video instead of having to edit my videos to send them to you, to have you edit them to send them to me. Thank you guys. Yeah, it's great. You know, we're getting out of the little place because it's a little bit crowded, as you can see. I mean, if some of you guys have seen some of my older videos, the tour of my house / fish house, the tanks are everywhere and it's small, and I need to go bigger, and I got a bigger place. So now we're going to have different tanks set up, you know, most of them in one room, except for the Africans and Bubba. Bubba has to be near me because I think he suffers from separation anxiety. And the karaoke sushi, it was on, I don't know, you're on Mixed African, if you're on Mixed African Cichlids on Google Plus, me and Aquafunk, I forget what happened, but he quoted something about the kiss from a rose, and me and Aquafunk just went with it, and it was like, it probably had to have been we did the whole song via text on Google Plus. It was great.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we have some fun on these clubs, or on these groups and everything, with the chat and all that.
That's good.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely good. It's nice to have fun in this hobby and not take it too over the top and serious. You know, like some people out there that are like, you got to do it this way, and this is the only way to do it. Well, I mean, that may be the case for you, but and you go to talk to someone else, and they're like, oh, I've been doing it this way. And then you deal with basically what you want to call them, I guess, like what, fish police or something like that, where they just like, you can't do it that way. And, like, who gives a fuck how you're keeping fish, as long as you're maintaining healthy aquariums and you're doing what you love, and basically, yeah.
Aquafunk, la 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 la, warm it up.
Isn't that my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard or something like that?
Yeah.
The boys are waiting. Da 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 da.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm getting roped into doing karaoke on fucking YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube karaoke.
Yeah.
But the good thing is I only have like 220 subscribers. I think 218 to be exact.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's not like it's going to get out there and get viral that quick.
I mean, it might. I mean, you don't know.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. I've
know.
seen some pretty stupid shit on YouTube go pretty viral.
Sushi said he would pay to see the milkshake song.
You'll pay to see the milkshake song. I mean, how much money you got? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I work in a fish store. I'm not like Bill Gates or anything of that nature, where I'm like rolling in the fucking deep here. Like,
what's going on, Liberty Bell? I'm gonna post a link if anybody wants to join in here too. I mean, I got yeah, you can join Hangouts. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I did turn the link on though to actually be able to join in, and you can join on this. Which guy? This the guest that's here with me today. This is Mike. He's from Reef to Riff. This is the aquarium store that I work at. He's actually in the house right now. Let
me flip this around. This is the extent of the house. I'm here. Keith is there, like 20 feet apart.
Yeah, we're doing just a quick live. Well, not quick. I mean, we came over to talk some stuff, and I was like, hey, you want to do a Q&A with me on YouTube, since you're smarter than me with fish?
It really wasn't you bringing up doing a live stream. I've kind of been bugging you for like the past 2 months. Like, hey man, let's get together and bullshit on fucking YouTube about what it's like to work in a fish store and dealing with dicks and goons on a daily basis.
Yeah. Take it easy, Pro Tim. Thanks for stopping by and like I say, in about 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, you'll have some videos, and I'll definitely be bringing out the unveiling of everything, the fish room once everything's together, and it's going to be a fun move, having to move 7 tanks, 2 big ones and 4, 5 small ones.
Yeah.
The small ones, the smallest is like 8 gallons. The rest are 20 and 40 and 75s.
2 125s and
another 125.
Yeah.
And that's when I'll be putting up Liberty Bell's stickers he got me. I got some nice stickers from Liberty Bell.
Oh, that Liberty Bell, the dude that stopped into the shop the one day with his other duder friend. Yeah, hey dude.
Yeah, I gotta set it up because I still have my autographed picture from Chris Biggs too that I gotta put up yet.
I hung mine up. Yeah, I got mine up. It's still it's fucking funny. Skin helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah, skin helmet.
Skin helmet. Yeah. Yeah. Liberty Bell says, "What's up?"
Hey man. Yeah, that was a fun ass time. Like the whole story behind the skin helmet thing was Chris Biggs came into the shop to do like a talk or whatever, and he had like some trivia on the end of it. And one of the questions was the Latin term corredoras. What does it basically translate to? And one of the answers was fucking skin helmet. I'm sitting there with this dude and our friend Ricardo Montalban. And Montalban was basically losing his shit that someone was talking about a skin helmet. And it's just being basically inappropriate 6-year-olds in a fish store. Yeah.
What was the answer for the Latin term for a corridor?
Skin helmet. It's funny, but Jesus Christ. I mean, I think it made it funnier just sitting there listening to you two fucking giggling like schoolgirls about skin helmet.
Of course. It makes anything better when you're giggling about skin helmets. Because, I mean, you don't hear somebody say skin helmet, and when it came up and it said skin helmet,
yeah,
it's
still funny.
Yeah, sushi. So I don't know if you heard, but the Latin term for corridorus actually is the word skin helmet. So the top of their head, it's
helmet shaped.
Yeah, it's helmet shaped, and it's skin. It's actually not scales. The corridorus doesn't have the scales on their head, so that's why the term corridorus Latin is skin helmet.
Yeah.
And just when it's up on a big screen, and you have 2 guys that have the mental capacity of together probably 12-year-old, and as soon as we saw skin helmet, we didn't focus on anything else but skin helmet, and we had to write these down because every time you would get a question right, you would get what they were called big bucks, and at the end, whoever had the most got a prize. So we kind of forgot about the prize and just focused on skin helmet and just kept yelling out skin helmet, skin helmet, skin helmet, and giggling. And as soon as it happened,
just fucking lost it.
Yeah, it does. It's like a bad Google Translate, but that's corridorus means skin helmet. Aquafunk just said you guys should have never told me that. I'm childish. Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's why we're saying it. You're over here trying to make me sing fucking "My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard," and you're over there giggling about skin helmet.
I don't even know where my face poster went now.
Probably in a box.
It probably is in a box.
It's in a box. Your dick reference is in a box.
Yeah, I do not see it here.
Yeah.
Because I show it. I got my belt stickers though.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to utmost apologize to anybody who is easily offended by foul language.
Belt stickers.
I use foul language a lot. deal with it.
Yeah, just deal with it. Deal with it. Yeah, I mean so I think he's coming to the Clash this year too, Biggs is.
He usually comes down every year. He's not speaking this year like he did last year. I think he's just coming down to like spectate and kind of hang out.
Yeah. I think even Rachel O'Leary, that's something you should come with us, Liberty Bell. You should come with us and check it out. It's only in Lancaster. So it's probably like 2 hours for you away.
It's when is it? I think it's like the 14th through the 16th of September.
September, yeah.
And it's not Lancaster this year. I think it's like New Holland off of one of the Harrisburg exits on the Turnpike or something. Definitely a good time. The Cichlid Club of York puts it on. I'm a member. It's one of those things where it's basically like lighthearted, hobbyist fun. You know, we don't take it too seriously unless you're a jerk off.
And you can run around with us yelling "skin helmet."
The funny thing is, I'm actually bringing up a couple of Corys to enter into the Cory category for the fish show, which is open to the general public, which is kind of cool. It wasn't last year, but this year they're opening it up to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that pretty much keeps fish.
Yeah, I saw somebody posted on Facebook, is it going to cost anything to get in? It's actually going to be free to get in. But if you want to see the speakers and stuff, you have to pay for every one of them. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with Rachel O'Leary, but apparently I've heard Scott was saying that she might be there too this year again.
Yeah. She came up last year to hang out, which was a bunch of fun. Big fan. Really like her channel. Does a lot of cool stuff with nanofish species, which is, another thing that I really enjoy keeping, other than, stuff that's behind Keith, other than the big dumb fish that's, over your, I guess that is the right shoulder, the fucking Oscar. Yeah.
Yeah. Sushi Print, it's actually in Pennsylvania. It's somewhere near, it's going to be around like Harrisburg, Lancaster area, New Holland, PA. Which, I mean, you're upstate New York, so it'll probably be a few hours for you to drive down here. But, I mean, they used to have it. I think they're still having it in a hotel.
Yeah, it's in a hotel.
Yeah.
It's 3 days. You said it was free. I don't think it's free. I think you got to pay to get a ticket to basically, basically come for all 3 days. But if you're paying for the ticket, you get the guest speakers, and then you also get to come to the banquet, which is the Saturday night there, which is a bunch of fun. It's where they give out like the awards for like the best in show categories and stuff of that nature. Definitely a good time. If you, what's her name? Sushi Prince or something like that.
Sushi Prince, yeah.
I mean, if you're, what part of upstate New York are you coming from?
Trying to wait to see what he says.
Yeah. I mean, like.
Oh yeah, what's going on, Lars? I seen you pop up on the chat here. I don't know if I said hi to you yet. He's in Syracuse.
It's probably like a good 3 to 4 hour drive, maybe 5 with traffic. I don't know if you ever come down to PA, especially around, our area. Traffic is horrible, to say the least. I mean, just, I guess, bring road trip stuff, bring snacks. Snacks are important. I like snacks.
Always good. I like snacks.
Yeah.
It's September
14th through 16th, I think. You go to the Cichlid Club of York website. They have all the information there posted. You can get your tickets there and stuff too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think it's like $4 a fish if you want to enter a fish to show, basically. I think there's like 15 or 16 categories you can enter, which is kind of cool.
And there's vendors there. I mean, it's been, from what I've been seeing, like throughout the years of actually being a fish hobbyist, that's gotten way out of control.
That's an understatement. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it got really, really bad, and
It's not. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad thing to love
It's
what you
not.
do,
It's-
but it's one of those things. Like if any of you guys out there seen episodes of like Hoarders, just imagine Keith coming into like this is pretty much like before he started working with me. I would probably see him at least like 3 to 4 times a week, and he would always come in and basically make his wife's blood pressure, do one of these motions go through the roof. But then again, I was also kind of the what do you want to call it, like the antagonist, where hey man, hey, did you see this cool fish? Hey, I know you don't got that in your tank.
it wasn't the antagonist. He was my dealer. He was straight
Yeah,
up
he
my fish
he
dealer.
comes into work, he's coming into the work just sitting there like, hey man,
Yeah, I
fiending.
Yeah, I fiend. And now when I work there, even now, I'll walk in there on the first. He's like, "Hey, we got our Colombian order and we got our Brazil order."
Oh yeah, I just told you today we got Brazil in.
You should go check it out. No. And I walk in now, and it's like he's like, "Hey, did you?" And I'm like, "Nope."
Yeah. I mean, it's the same for both me and you. I mean, it sucks working in a fish store, seeing like all this stuff that I want to stock in like tanks, but A, I don't have the tank space, and B, nor do I, have the money to basically fund, a fish house, which is pretty much what I'm gonna need at this point.
Yeah, Aquafunk. You know what though, man? There is a self-destruct, but I don't even know how I would I couldn't put myself in your shoes. I mean, I'm moving 20 minutes away or 10 minutes away from where I am now, but you're moving from Jersey to Florida.
That's a hike. Yeah.
Well, Aquafunk, so a little backstory about him too. He's moving from Jersey to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a bunch of guys on our group, him and Big Rob, Big Rob 93 and Andy's Angels are 2 other YouTubers that I follow and that we're all in the same stuff together. Aquafunk actually made a couple videos and sent all his fish out to not all of them. He sent most of them out to Andy's Angels and Big Rob because they're down in Georgia. So this way his fish are almost there already. And I guess that way when he gets down there, it's yeah.
I mean, that's definitely a smart move. I mean, I wouldn't have thought to basically pre-ship them to someone who's closer to, where you're going to be at. But the one thing I would definitely, get a tap water sample when you get there and see how the water is going to vary from Georgia, which is, I think, like 1 or 2 states away, to wherever you're going to be in Florida. If it's not that far off, you shouldn't have any issues. Which is the one thing the other Montauban here is going to have to deal with. I think we were just talking about that earlier, right?
Yeah, that's in the water and stuff.
Yeah, which is going to be pretty crucial if you're trying to move these fish even like a half an hour away.
Yeah, because you're using different water tables.
Yeah, whether it's treated well water, whether it's non-treated well water, whether it's city water, treated city water. There's a whole bunch of factors that can go into, what the fuck is coming out of my tap water. But yeah, I mean.
You know what? Sushi asked. Oh wait, I think we answered that for Sushi. That it was September 14th through the 6th or 16th, 17th.
Yeah, I mean
September.
I mean, if you're truly interested in coming, definitely go to the CCY website and get all the information off of there. I think they got flyers.
And as it gets closer too, they do have it on Facebook. You can look up the Keystone Clash or Keystone Clash, and they have it on Facebook that you can actually see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I knew we were going to be talking about the Clash, I would have just grabbed like one of the flyers or whatever that we got at work or something like that. Made life easy.
So Sweetness just asked, I have some fish I want to bring. What's the best way to bring them to the convention? In a bucket.
I wouldn't tell people in a bucket.
No.
All right. What kind of fish are you bringing? That's the big question.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, you can bring to those things. They do say you can bring your own water and you can bring your own tank if you have a fish that's bigger than that. But Aquafunk, yeah, man. I mean, honestly, I would have done the same thing if I'm moving to Florida and I don't know anybody. I would have been hooking up or calling one of my buddies up to find out, wherever if somebody's close by, and that's a good thing. Like we're not knocking it. I mean, you're doing this thing. You're prepared for it.
Yeah.
You're not doing this blind and then having a big catastrophe. Because I mean, let's face it. Even if we have, even some of these fish that we have, they're worth a lot of money, and to lose those fish just would suck big time. I mean, I've had tanks crash where my tank crashed and I lost probably $1,000 in fish, and it's an upsetting thing. It really is. I mean, these guys behind me, if I would lose these guys to replace any bit of them at the size that they are, you're talking, $200-$300 in a fish, except for the dumb Oscars. They're just
You get them at your local PetSmart, Petco.
I could fly down to Florida cheaper and grab 2 Oscars out of a lake. And
Yeah.
I mean, how hard is that?
No, literally, you could spit in a puddle in Florida and catch an Oscar.
That's what I'm saying. It'd be cheaper.
Yeah. All you need to pay for is a little bit of fish food when you get down there to catch anything, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely a smart move there, Aquafunk. Not a lot of people would have thought to, play it smart like that. Some people would have thought maybe just, packing them up in basically trough tubs or whatever, aerating the shit out of it, and maybe stopping halfway and doing a water change with water that you've already pre-treated and then going the rest of the 9 yards. But then again, if you do it that way, you don't know what the hell you're walking into with water quality when you get to wherever you're going down the road.
So Sweetness is saying, also saying the fish that they're going to bring is an L128, L173, and a blue eye.
Let's talk plecos there, Sweetness.
A blue eye.
Yeah. So, how big are your plecos? Are they like adults? Are they juvies? How big are they? And I'll tell you a quick story about the blue eye plecos there.
I'm gonna mute him when he starts telling the story about the blue eyes because I don't want to hear.
Yeah, I'm a jerk. Yeah, jerk with a capital J, and not spelled jerk. It's spelled Fuck.
Yeah, so the blue eye is an adult, and the other 2 are 6 to 8 inches.
When you say adult for the blue eye, are you talking about Panax chocleodon, or are you talking about a true blue-eyed Panax, which is Panax sutanorum or Panax satani, whatever the vernacular is for it nowadays? Because that species there alone can get anywhere from 16 to 20 inches. I mean, at home, I have a pair, a male and a female, and a 120. The male alone is a good 17 inches, and the female's not far off. And that's not including the large, basically trailers that you'll get off the tail end of the fish. If you're going to be moving a fish that big, even a pleco, best thing you can do is just wrangle them out with your hands. Use gloves if you're not comfortable barehanding it, and put them in a Sterilite tub, aerate the hell out of it, put some zeolite in there, and hope for the best, pretty much. I mean, if it's going to be a far drive for you, maybe stop, do a small water change on it with pre-treated water, and then just make the rest of the journey. Your other smaller plecos, I mean, they'd pretty much suffice in a 5-gallon bucket. Same principle, a little bit of zeolite or whatever to absorb ammonia that they're going to be emitting, and aerate the buckets. You know, I mean, I'm going to be bringing quite a few plecos myself up, and I'm pretty much going to be bringing them the same way with maybe like a 55-gallon drum of my own water that I use for my house and bringing them up there. But the one thing I will tell you about the larger fish like that, bring your own tanks. They're not going to supply a tank large enough to basically support a fish the size of that blue eye. So maybe if you got like a spare 75 or something of that nature, bring it up. Make a top for it if you want. But the regulations are pretty much going to be no heater, no power filter. So if you got a sponge filter, bring that up as well. Bring sponge filters for all of them. That would be the best bet for bringing them up and showing them. Yeah.
All right. Well, I just realized we're at about an hour on the stream here. Got some other stuff to do, but Aqua said Sushi said he took a bus trip from New York to Florida, and Aquafunk just said, "Hell no."
Yeah,
no.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. How can you stand sitting on a bus for that many hours with, you know, God knows the amount of people on there, and God knows wherever the hell they came from, especially seeing as Florida is its own country within this point. The amount of nonsense that comes out of there. You're nuts. You're nuts, dude.
Well, so we're gonna end this here. I'm gonna thank Mike from Reef to Rift for kind of jumping on here and giving some info. Everybody, you know, if you want, people that are local to the eastern side of PA wants to come and check out Reef to Rift. Again, you know, Liberty Bell had come in and saw it, and honestly, that place, you know, you see a lot of local fish stores. Maybe one of these days when I'm in there, I'll actually I'll throw up a live stream while I'm in there and just take you through a tour of everything. Once, you know, I get the okay from the owner to do it, which I don't think he'll have an issue.
No.
This way you guys can actually see. It's a great place. It's beautiful. Like I said, Liberty Bell stopped in there. You know, Mike's there most of the time. I'm there one day a week because I have another job. But it's still, it feeds the habit.
Yeah. Good word. Feeds your habit.
Yeah, it's a habit. But anyway, I'm going to say thanks for stopping by, everybody. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. Subscribe if you weren't already subscribed. And about 3 weeks, we'll be having another one here because I got to move.
What is it? I mean, if any of you guys want to kind of check us out on Facebook, Reef to Rift does have a Facebook page. You can kind of look us up. Even if you're not local to us, you can pretty much hop on there and see some really cool shit. Probably some fish that you probably wouldn't be able to see otherwise. Definitely help us out long term. The more people that know about us, the better, you know. But thanks for kind of having me on there to bullshit and talk for a little bit, dude.
Yeah. Thank you. Take it easy, everybody.